Woo! Hey, what's up, guys? Let's get into this. So what I'm gonna be doing is gonna be drawing a monster, kind of sideways, four-legged monster. I'm gonna draw it in profile right now. I'm gonna do another demo of me, kind of a three-quarter view. Front view looks really damn ugly. I mean, really ugly. Like usually, and for a four-legged creature, like you don't see a centaur straight up front very often. It'll just look like it's on two legs. Usually, it's like a three-quarter or profile view. So I'm gonna be drawing a monster, and let's. So the thing about this is it might take a little. This is gonna be a longer demo. I don't want to fast forward almost any of it, so that's a big part of it. I'm using a straight ballpoint pen right now, just to kind of give you an example of this. You don't have to use anything fancy, obviously. I think that you can do something fancy, and it'd be, you can use something fancy because you start to get picky out of nowhere. But I want to do it in this just to show you that it's not a big deal. So, so I haven't even thought about what kind of monster. I just want it to be on four legs. That's the only requirement. I kind of want it to be maybe semi-bird-like on the front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in really light since it's in pen. I'm going to go in super light. Think of the rib cage there. Think of the rib cage. And then the pelvis area. And then the leg. Whoops. Sorry. Think of the rib cage, pelvis. Think of it where the head's going to be held. They tend to be lower down on predators. Probably be a predator. What I want is I want to put that shoulder blade in before, I'm not even sure what I want it to be. Definitely want that shoulder blade in. Kind of the top of the shoulder peeks out the front. Goes back into the elbow. These are the things. I'm just kind of trying to talk and say everything's going on in my head, so there's total transparency. So and like I said, it's gonna be weird because it's just the thoughts in my head. They're all jumbled up. But hopefully you get something out of it because yeah, I'm just gonna try to say everything. Elbow down here to the wrist, and it's going down to the wrist is probably going to be angled back. And I'm giving like a paw down here, like a lion's paw. It could make this a Griffin. A Griffin-like creature. Yeah, the Griffin would be pretty cool. I'm going to draw a wing area. This is all really light, so I apologize if you can't see this that well. It will become very, very apparent in very little time what I'm doing. Leg forward. Well, not that far forward. That's a big thing with humans. You want to draw like a crouched over human. It's not like that at all. Think of the pelvis as at an angle. I'm thinking of the the bone that sticks out. I think it's called the great trochanter, which is the top of the femur. Going to the front of the knee, back of the foot, and this animal's not going to be plantigrade. So a lot of this is I want to figure out its stance essentially. Tail, I'm not sure what kind of tail it's going to be. I want to figure out the stance and the structure, and that'll dictate its design. But I'm not going into very specific designs yet. I just know that I want this to be some sort of like Griffin-like character. Let's see, I have its kind of body already. And I'm going to actually have its, hold on, let me see, if he's walking like that. Usually one foot's back, right here, while the other foot's forward. They don't walk like with two legs walking at the same time, right? Like the front leg and the back leg. Let's say this is the front leg, this is the front leg, this is the back leg, this is the back leg. They don't walk like that. They usually walk like this. You know that as this front leg or foot or this front hand, like you can say, is going forward. That the leg on that side is going backwards. And I'm going to talk more about all this stuff as I go through this. Okay. So first thing I want to do is go into the head, and I want to make the head not so big. I want to make the body look a little larger. You know, because if I make that bigger, it's going to make the body look small and dinky. I'm going to put my first lines of commitment, honestly, down here pretty soon. Predators tend to have eyes aimed forward to kind of judge distances. You know, they need to have that overlapping point to jump at stuff and figure out where it's going to be. Putting in that forehead a little bit there. Going forward into this, going to like a Griffin type, so I'm going to be, it's going to have some sort of beak. The beak is going to taper off back here. The nasal passage, the nostril is going to be up here toward the top. Bottom portion of the beak. I want there to be a discoloration at the end, like many hawks and eagles. So I'm going to put some slight shading on that. The way I do that is I try to go thinner and wispier, and I try to build up my value here instead of putting it as one, like instead of like you're filling in a coloring book. I want to slowly bring it up instead. There's a separation between the beak and kind of the featheriness, or I don't know, furry type featheriness of the face. But I also want to bring in a slight bit of kind of tigerism, or like, you know, I don't know how to say that, but a slight bit of yeah, like tiger, kind of a jowls to it, like kind of like masseter. I'm going to make the back a little bit larger. The scapula is possibly pushing up. I'm going to draw a crease to the neck here. It's got that muscle kind of leading up. Going down to the chest area. And I'm trying to keep my lines a little, like he's got fur on him. Got that chest, peak of the chest. Kind of doing the overlap of the wrist. I want that wrist to come forward. Right here it has this really big, usually on four-legged predatorial animals, what is this? The tricep is gigantic, you know, because they don't have a lot of bicep action, because I guess they don't do that curling motion to the front very often, so you can barely find that bicep almost. The tricep is huge, and then you see the deltoid. They're attached, and that attaches in a strange way. I'm just kind of feathering it out right now because I'm not sure. I'm kind of committing, but kind of not committing, trying to really be careful at what to commit to. the foot here, going to the paws. I think the paws are these round donut-like things. I want to do a video on the paws at some point about how they contract. I think it's immensely fascinating, you know, how they the kind of muscles that pull in the top and the bottom to contract to kind of make the claws come out. Very interesting. Let's see. I don't know if I want to. Oh, man, I don't want to give this guy feathers though. It's going to really detract from the whole thing. I might give him bat-type wings because I kind of just want like more like dragon wings. I might do that. So like I said, this isn't exactly a griffin, but also underneath you have the latissimus dorsi right here, crawl up the edge. The lats. Pulling into the abdominal wall here. Usually you have the rib cage end, and you have the abdominal wall kind of hang here on some lions. It depends, but usually I make it look a little thinner there to make them look fit. Coming forward here. Trying to see where this foot's going to be. This wrist is going to angle downward. And then get that paw, get the dew claw on the side here. Got the claw sticking out the front here. The other one. A lot of these is I'm kind of placing them before I commit. I'm placing them to see what they look like in my mind first. You're like, oh, okay, that looks pretty good, or that looks pretty good. I can put the other wing over there. So, I'm going to go back here. Let's see what we got so far. Move it up a little bit. Sorry guys, this video is gonna be pretty chill. I'm gonna put hardly any editing in this because I want you to hear every single thing that's going on in my brain. Over here you got the top of the pelvic muscle. There's a muscle right here. I cannot remember that. It's weird because you'll find with a lot of muscles you'll remember what they look like, which is the most important, but you don't remember the exact shape. I'm sorry, you don't remember the exact name, you know. You got the top of the knee up here. Kind of the top of the knee, the bottom of the knee. When you see the knee bend, and it creates this huge kind of bizarre shape when it bends. I see that a lot on my dog. When the knee bends, it doesn't really bend like our knee per se, like as our patella it sticks out. They do have that, but it looks so much longer than ours. This area, like from here, at least when they bend it. It's going back. There's usually some muscles here hanging, and then there's a little bit of loose skin as well that goes into the top of the heel. And this is the heel, and it pulls down. You got some tendon over here as well. Goes down all the way. And I'm going to draw the same type of claws over here. Same shape, like little mountains. And the tail in the back, which would be, I want to make like a foxtail, like just to be goofy, but I'm gonna make just more of a lion tail, I guess. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a lion's tail. I was gonna do like a devil's tail almost. Is that on the page? No, it's not. It's not on the page. Let's see. Let me move that forward. Alright. I'm not going to continue on until I have everything, all the line art traced out, and then after the line art I'm going to actually kind of go in and start shading. I don't know what level of shading I'm going to take this to. Depends on how I think it's going. Continue going to the back leg. I'm going to make him step a little bit further back. This foot's going to be on the ground a little bit further away from us, so it'll probably be a little bit higher on the page. Going in here, going along his back. And I'm going to go into the wing, which one on the shoulder blade. And the wing's going to come out. The way it works is kind of works like an arm wings, the bone. It's going to come here, and then it's going to go up to the point. And that's going to be like the hand. It's going to have all the... We're not really going to do that, though. It's going to have like separate fingers. And there's a piece of skin holding on to this. Pulling back. Going around here. I want to give him more of, like I said, bat wing kind of thing going on. And a wing on the other side, on the far end. Maybe I can have it sticking down here a little bit. Some sort of, like it's dragging on the other side. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to start kind of making sense of things and putting in like little striations and things like that. Oh, sorry about that. Belched a little bit, sorry. So I'm going to start out by shading, let's see. I'm going to be putting in these lines, directional lines. They're going to be small. It's like quasi shading. The reason I'm going to do that is because I want to make sense of things to the viewer. Because I already have line art, and I'm assuming the light is coming from above. I'm going to have to cheat it a little bit because the wings will probably like shade everything. I'm not sure if I want to do that right now. That's a choice that I'm not sure I want to do. Usually as an artist you're kind of like, how do you say it? You're choosing a lot of the things that you put and don't put in there. That's the difference between us and like a camera or things of that sort, is you're consciously making these decisions. And these decisions are essentially based on a lot of things. They're based on instinctual things. They're based on things you've observed in reality. There's things in other art pieces that you've noticed. So those are things like design. Putting a little bit shadow here, below, like I said, because there's going to be light coming from above. Put some value here. I'm still kind of building up value as well. I'm not full-blown going to dark value. Gonna go in to the nails. Hence, like I said, slowly darkening things up. I want the nails to appear dark, so I'm darkening most of that except for maybe a small highlight. Going to the elbow here. Oh, sorry I'm being quiet, guys. I'm just thinking. Gonna kind of put this in but with less detail, this shadow, because I want it to fall on the back almost as like, I don't know, like a background. I just want less detail and anything falling a ways. Same thing over here. Putting down less detail. Hopefully you can see that. Yes. Putting down less detail because I want there to be less concentration on that area. Going into the claws. Trying to straighten out what's going on there. the tail. I'm thinking of things, like I said, it's clear, as close to the camera more. That's kind of the way I'm kind of defining it, or clearing it up for myself. Alright, let's get going on kind of trying to pull the form out. Trying to make sense of this all. Going along the edge here, because almost treat this like a canvas in a way. Trying to go in, like, again, to show off again like parts of the form, what's going on. A lot of this is going to be very subtle. You're subtly kind of throwing these little, almost like cross-hatching patterns all over. And it's up to you to what level or what degree you want to take this to. Again, kind of the word is subtlety. I'm slowly doing this. I know I said I wasn't going to fast forward this, but I'm probably going to have to do that. I'm going to have to be a hypocrite or a liar, or whatever you call it, because a lot of this is going to be, see, I'm throwing these tiny little patterns, see, pulling these little marks, and they create a larger kind of effect. So as I'm pulling these, like I said, them on their own do nothing, but as you keep going, it creates this big overall effect. Continuing to kind of poke at it. And alright, I'm gonna have to fast forward it, guys, because I know you guys are you're not gonna like it, so you're not gonna like waiting on that long. So I'm gonna fast forward this next part. So let's kind of get going on that, and I'll come back and describe it. Sketch. I'm gonna throw a really light layer, thin line right here, just kind of over the character, kind of the bottom part, because I want the lightness to be up here. So that's kind of what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna make the eye a little bit darker because I want the focus to kind of go there, around this area. I would normally shade in the entire top portion of this, the wing, but I didn't really, I don't know, I didn't feel like doing it, to be honest. I just didn't think it'd be a good idea. But that's pretty much the end of this sketch. This is a Griffin sketch. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions or you want another certain character, let me know. I'm going to try to upload every Tuesday and Thursday. Alright, guys, thanks a lot. See you later.